Hey everybody, Amy Wood back along with Trevor Rubenzer, political science extraordinaire wizard from USC Upstate. Heads a big department full of other departments other than political science. Tell us all the things you help to handle at USC Upstate.
History, political science, philosophy, and American studies. There's also religious studies and ROTC in my department as affiliate programs. So,
Well, it has already been an interesting night, and we were just looking at some more results as we took our break and tried to get my cameras organized. And we think we figured it out. Nothing to do with Trevor. I had to figure that out myself. But let's talk a little bit about the situation with the race involving Tom Rice and what's happening with it. I mean, what are we seeing in terms of the results right now?
so it looks like, if I had to guess, we're probably going to get to a runoff, although that's not completely assured right now. But the candidate, Russell Fry, endorsed by former President Trump, is doing very well. And I don't see anything with those numbers suggesting that he couldn't carry that kind of momentum into the general election unless there were huge like a huge rallying effect of Democrats voting for Rice in the general, or I mean in the runoff. Sorry.
Gotcha. And on the other side, this is the District 7 House of Representatives Congress. This is out in the Myrtle Beach
Yeah,
area, South Carolina, along the coast. And the other race we're watching on the coast involves congressional district. Is it 6 or 7? I think it's 7.
it's one,
Oh, 1.
the new one,
Okay, the
the
new
new
one.
one. Yeah. So one was the one that was created when after the last census, South Carolina gained a seat.
Gotcha.
I mean, there was a previous one, but everything kind of got redrawn. So that's where um, like 2 elections ago, you had Cunningham beat Arrington, and then the election after that, Mace beat Cunningham.
And now we're getting a fresh look at the numbers that are just coming in.
Yeah, and Nancy Mace has said some things that aren't particularly complimentary of the former president, but she's also made some attempts at reconciliation. Um, but there is a candidate there that Trump voters prefer a little bit more, but that's a different district makeup than on the Strand with Myrtle Beach. So
So
you would
Nancy,
expect a different result.
if she holds over 50%, she'll walk away with the primary. It looks like the Democrats who will challenge her in the fall, they look to be headed toward a runoff. They're split
Yeah,
30
definitely.
30 30. So
Yeah. And that's a district that could be competitive, but in this case, both of the potential Republican candidates have more national name recognition than any of the Democratic candidates.
mhm.
And that wasn't necessarily the case a couple of elections ago. So, what you're looking at with the Republican primary could be the actual, yet, like the winner of that could is probably your outright winner in the election.
And I know we have folks that are watching us from Greenville County who are frustrated because I'm looking, for example, at the J. Elliott Brett Brocado race in Greenville County. That's for District 22 House of Representatives. No results yet, which is telling us the Greenville County numbers just aren't coming in yet. Same
Yep.
with the race involving Derek Quarles, Bruce Wilson, Wendell Jones, Adrian Atkinson, Justin Bennett. That's a 5-way race in District 25, high interest race. Nothing in yet on that. But there are some races over in the Spartanburg County side. So we've got Rita Allison's race
Mm-hmm.
with about 1,300 votes in. I don't know if that's early voting or total votes, coming in, but it's Rita Allison against Rob Harris, and Rita Allison is holding a 52 0.43 margin to 47.57 to Rob Harris. So, it's interesting to kind of check out all the numbers as they come in on the state and local level. There's another race in Spartanburg. Travis Moore, the incumbent, facing Bill DeVore. That
Yep.
is for District 33, and DeVore's got 48.72 to Moore's 51.28. So it's a close race at this time, but that's only 8
Yeah,
points.
and these twofers aren't going to go to runoffs, and that's probably going to be your winner there. So this is, like we talked about in the previous one, this is 12, 13, 15% max of the people determining the result. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in any of these two, when you see two candidates on the Republican side in a state house seat in the upstate, for the most part.
Yeah. So I'm continuing to scroll on down through races. If there's any races you guys want us to talk about, let us know in the comments. I'm kind of just scrolling through, and you can do this on sevotes.org or WSPA.com.
Yep.
Matter. They're basically putting these same numbers up on the website, so you're able to see them. But since we're trying to talk in real time here, we're trying to keep on top of the latest for you as quickly as we can. So we've got 45.65% of the vote in South Carolina. Let me show you something here if I can. Let me look at this. Hold on. Let me go back up. Let me zoom out a little bit and then go over to this part of the page, because this is interesting. This gives you the idea right here. Can you see that?
Yep.
The counties reporting. So you got 46.65% reporting. So 495 precincts out of 2,257 in the state. So you can tell that this is, we're still just getting started, folks. Still just getting started. And there are lots that have not reported, 54% that hasn't even been counted yet. All right, we can also take a peek at which counties are reporting. So let's look into that. Let me see what this says. I just saw that. So
Yeah.
let's go in. Okay, so this is going to give us the map of where the votes are being counted. You can see Greenville County is not reporting yet, which I've never understood why it takes so long to count the vote in Greenville County. It's a big county.
Are they all saying 0? I have a hard time. I'm trying to read what. Let me enlarge it a little bit.
No, these are just saying so it's
I
gray.
know, and then there it is. I see now. I couldn't even see
There's
what county was
partially
which.
reporting. So the coast, this is interesting. We're not really getting a lot of the Myrtle Beach number yet. We're getting some of this, the Florence area back in here, but we're not
Yep.
getting the coast. And then Charleston County and Somerville, that area are kind of coming in, but there's other parts that are out, so it's really fascinating. Got some of the Midlands in, got a lot of this section of the state up in here: Chesterfield, Lancaster, York counties. Those are coming in. We got Spartanburg County reporting, Lawrence County, Greenwood, but a lot of the upstate. So we're talking Newberry, Union, Cherokee County, Greenville County, also Abbeville and McCormick. They're all still yet to come on in. So, boy, I'm not going to do this all night. I'm sorry.
I understand. This isn't the 3 in the morning thing, is it?
Do what?
Not a 3 in the morning thing. There's
Yeah.
once every 4 years that I'll stay up that late, and this is not that.
No,
Although in some ways,
it is.
in terms of the local elections and
Yeah,
primary elections being so
deal.
important,
Like, I
what do we
believe.
have? Just
I
over 3 million registered voters in South Carolina.
mm-hmm.
And what are we going to get for votes? 300,000 ish.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I lost you. Trevor hung up on us. He can come back in at any time. I think there he is. Hi. Hold on. I lost your audio though, I think. Are you there? I'm not hearing your audio this time. Just try going all the way out and coming back in. And we'll see if it works again. I see you there, but I don't know if it's going to want to play ball unless you go all the way out. I mean, you may have to go out completely. Are you back? Hello? It's like freezing up on us a little bit. I'm not hearing any audio though. I would just close it all out and then go back to the link and come back in if you can hear me. Like just completely get out of the app and then come back in and come back to the link. It's not. I'm going to kick you out. Can I kick him out? Sorry, guys. Cancel. You there? I don't know what's happening. We're having a little bit of an issue, but I think we're going to get Trevor back at some point. You may have to go all the way out, close it down, and then come back on. Like, just go away. Go away. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Close out. Oh, there. Did he leave? I can see him behind the scenes. You guys can't see him right now. Anyway, let's look at this map. I'm going to pray that he goes out and comes back in. I can't message him right now because I'm on all my apps that can message him. I could email him. Let me try that. Let me try email. Oh, wait. He totally left. So maybe, yes, he totally left. So he's going to come back in and it's going to work. I know it's going to happen. Hang on, guys. We'll get this together. It's just a matter of time. But this gives you a sense of where the vote is coming in South Carolina as we wait for Trevor Rubenzer to get back. He's back. I hear him. Yay. There he is. There he is.
I just tried to reconnect. It worked.
Yeah. All you got to do, if it ever does that, is just go completely out and come back in and just make a fresh connection. Because I think it's somehow, like, especially if you get a disrupt, like a call or something comes in, it glitches the mic or something. It somehow, I don't know. Don't know why, but it is what it is. By the way, I have on my flag today because it was Flag Day, and I attended a dear friend's funeral. And as part of the funeral, they gave us American flag pins, and we sang. It was really sweet because she was a very patriotic woman, so it was kind of a nice thing. But I was like wearing my.
Sorry for your loss, but that is very nice.
Yeah, it was a sweet moment. It was really touching.
I'm trying to pull up where I was before.
Well, I'm going to go back to this map and put it up while we look at some things and just that turnout, not turnout, but that results where they're coming from tells you why some of you frustrated that you can't get results for your election in a certain area. The reason is, we're waiting. Oh, here we go. We got all the results completely reported in Lawrence and all the results completely reported in Oconee County. Way to go, upstate of South Carolina. Showing out with their ability to get the election done. So that is kind of cool. Look at us. We're first in the state getting those reports in. Nice. Now we do.
I know. It's amazing how much
Greenville County numbers.
Instant gratification.
So I'm going to pull up Greenville County numbers because now we can see Greenville County started to come in. So that last update is a good one because it's giving us some new numbers to take a peek at. So let's take a peek, shall we? Hold on.
I'm going to.
Hang on now. All right, so I'm going to refresh this, and we're going to take a look at SC Votes and see what they've got. In terms of, I'm going to run down to the Greenville County races and just see where we're at. State House, trying to get down to, I'm not sure of all the, I just knew somebody had mentioned one of the ones today when I was at lunch. This one, Jason Elliott, Brian Brocato. So Elliott's got 54.81%. I'm going to try to make this bigger. 51.8 right here. But this is the incumbent, Jason Elliott, in that race. And then in this race, this is the fascinating race, District 25, so much interest on the Republican, Democratic side of the district. And look at this. So we've got Adrian Atkinson with 31.27. Wendell Jones, 31.45. So he's leading. Wendell Jones is leading. Justin Bennett has a very small percentage. Derek Quarles has 25.82, and Bruce Wilson has 10.73%. That's 550 votes in so far that race. So that I don't know what percentage that is the vote for there. Unfortunately, I have no idea for that. What covers that area. What even though if we get the total percentage for the state, it doesn't mean we don't really know what's happening in that precinct that's involved with this particular.
Yep.
Those precincts that are involved.
And then you don't know who's going to endorse who in the runoff.
Right.
So in a race like that,
yeah, that's going to be
you got to
really.
see who the losers endorse, because either of the third or fourth place candidates could play a really big role in the outcome there. That's always
Right.
interesting in
Yeah.
primaries that have runoffs instead of plurality.
And that is where, I guess in politics, you make some deals, don't you? I mean, in terms of like, hey,
Yeah.
I want to give you my endorsement, but I need you. Like, if you ran on a certain topic and that wasn't as important to that candidate, but they're leading, maybe you can work out like, but will you work on such and such for me? I mean, like these kind of conversations
Right.
happen to try to make some kind of still get some progress on something you care about, and then let support the person.
That's exactly what you do. In Europe, where you get seats in parliament in proportion to the votes that you got, you can do something with 10% of the vote. You actually get 10% of the seats in parliament, and then that matters. But in the US, where you can only have one winner per district, first past the post, well, not in a primary, but ultimately, you've got to make some deals for somebody to integrate part of your platform into what they're doing in exchange for supporting them. And a lot of those deals are made before the primary, right?
Yeah.
So your also ran candidates probably already have deals.
Yeah.
For who they're going to endorse, assuming things turn out the way that they think they will.
All right, so we've got some folks saying hi to us, like Laura is saying hi, and
Hi,
Christy,
Laura.
that she always has noticed that Oconee County is very fast about reporting. And then Christy says, no candidate's perfect or covers all the issues, but it's about what's the most important in that area or even to that person. Interesting. Well, it's good. It's good to see that you guys there with us. Thank you.
And it's interesting because you don't always know, because these like state level races aren't polled. Like you can't tell what is super important to people. So if you're the kind of person who writes letters, or calls offices or something like that, those are the issues that people are going to remember.
Yeah.
Or the candidates are going to remember, hey, that's important to people in my district. I can see how bad I'm freezing right now. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. One of the things I talk about for those who voted Republican, there were 3 advisory questions. Are you familiar with those? Did you know about those? Because it's interesting. They asked people about registering by party. Should you have the right to register with a party of your choice when you register to vote? And I was reading an editorial on some of these questions. In a way, sometimes they're worded in a way that might make you vote a certain way, even though you don't fully understand the implications of what it means. So if we were to go to a registration political party, that would eliminate the open primary, would it not?
Yep, it would. Then you would have a closed primary where you have to vote based on your registration designation. Sometimes those are more fluid, so you can kind of pop in, pop out.
Then they asked
depending on what it is.
Yeah, they asked about registering as a candidate for school board as a Republican or Democrat. And
yeah, so should you have nonpartisan races, right? So
Mm-hmm.
generally, the more local a race is, the less likely it is to be partisan. And so we just want to vote for people at the local level based on what they stand for, as opposed to their political emblem. But nonpartisan races don't give anybody any shortcuts.
It's interesting. Questions, people think, oh, I just make that happen. No, these are advisory questions that apparently the Republican Party wants to know how people feel about this because they must be considering their options, so to speak.
Yeah. And generally, the Republican Party is more likely to have more, it's not necessarily restrictions on voting, but things to kind of, what would you call it, enforcing party discipline,
Mm-hmm.
than Democrats are. And so sometimes that makes Republican elections seem much more organized because they'll have something in place that, like in caucuses, like you see caucuses in elections in general, and Republican caucuses are much less wheeling than Democratic Party caucuses. So you can be done voting in a caucus for Republican Party in an hour or so, and for the Democratic Party, you might have to be there for 4, 5, 6, 7 hours to get it done.
Wow.
So all that chaos you see in Iowa during the Iowa caucuses is usually on the Democratic side.
Yeah. I'm trying to pull up on the South Carolina district just to gauge which ones we want to talk about. But this map is really, really out of focus. Oh my gosh.
I'm looking. So yeah, if you got anybody chatting in with one that they want, I
Yeah.
don't always know the state ones or
Let
the local ones as
me.
well. But
Um, if you had any previous comments, we had to end the other live. They're probably still on the other live, but we started two different lives. So if you're missing a comment, I haven't deleted anything. Um, but also it's a scrolling comment thing, so it may have scrolled past, or you may have to scroll back up or whatever. Like right now, I can only see on my Facebook wall 4 comments at a time, and they're just kind of live updating while it's live, and then later all the comments will be there, if that makes sense. So just in case that's something you're not realizing. Um, Interesting. I'm just looking back through. I just don't know which state house races to actually go over because I don't have a. I wish I had a map, and I was looking for one just to see if I can make it easier for myself. Ah, see, this is why I do these on primary nights too, because it'll make me realize what exactly I need for November.
yep,
And so this is all I do this, guys, because I first of all I love talking about politics. Always have 31 years of it. You guys know that I love this, and second of all, Trevor loves it. We've always enjoyed chatting when we can work it out, um, and I think you guys like hearing about it. It's kind of exciting. I mean, if you take the time to go vote, you probably want to find out what happened, and it's always interesting. Now, a lot of people are happy to go to bed and wake up in the morning and find out, and that's cool. But for those of us
yep.
who are going to be refreshing our phones all night, we might as well do it together. You know, that's the way I look at
That's what you used to have to do. Is you just waited till the next day to the
it.
morning
Yes,
newscast, and
it's so true.
or if
So
you lived in a really big city, like the morning edition of the newspaper. I remember that when there used to be morning and evening editions of something.
that's right. Oh my, it's amazing to think back all the changes we have seen. Politics.
And now, if the results aren't out within 2 hours of the thing, everybody freaks out
Yeah.
and is worried about impropriety and everything else. It's like you have to realize when I went into my precinct to vote today, there weren't that many people there voting. Um, but they still have to run, they have to close out those machines.
Yeah.
They have to run them. They have to audit them. They have to cross check against your lists that are on those things when you go and you sign in. So you
Hmm.
sign in on the little touch screen usually, and then you also sign in on the little I'm here to vote Democrat or I'm here to vote Republican sheet.
Yeah.
And all of that takes some time. And especially during the pandemic, um, your typical people who go and be our poll workers, it tends to skew a little bit older. Not all of them are coming.
Yeah.
And so you have a lot of understaffed places.
Yeah.
So that's something that you can do if you want to make a difference too. Is somewhere on SC Votes is information, or you can look at your county electoral commission,
Mm-hmm.
and the compensation like isn't great or anything, but it's a great civic experience. When I lived in Wisconsin, I did it once. Um, you can be like a poll worker.
That's cool.
You go through a little bit of training,
I'm putting
and then there you go. Oh,
being look at all the green coming in. So we've got let's take a peek here. We've got Chesterfield fully reported. In the upstate we've got Chester County, Union County is completely reported. So they just waited till they had it all and then dumped it all in there. They are 100% done. We've got Spartanburg partially, Greenville partially, Pickens partially, Anderson partially, and then Oconee County all the way done. So we got Oconee, Lawrence, and Union counties completed in the upstate. Nothing yet in Cherokee County. Nothing yet in Abbeville County. And that's really the upstate in terms of what we care about. Greenwood has partial reporting. So as you go onto our website or onto the state election commission website, you will see these numbers starting to come in for your area, and especially these green areas. You should be able to tell who won or is facing a run. If you don't have 50% plus one, you are not going to be, you're going to face a runoff. So that's kind of the way you tell. And if there's only two candidates, the greater finisher wins the primary. Now, if they have a Democrat or a Republican that's opposing them in the other party, then they'll have a race in the fall. But if not, if it's an uncontested, nobody else running on the other side, then you have your winner tonight. So it's exciting
yep,
for people who put their all into this stuff. The politicos of the world, this is an exciting moment for them, and it's also probably a sad moment for others.
yep. This is where the door knocking and all that other stuff, the flyer hanging and the sign negotiation and all that stuff matters the most.
Yeah,
Is in these small turnout elections.
yeah. Well, that's our map for voter counting. These are the votes that have been counted so far. And in South Carolina, you can see that all those gray areas, there's been no reporting yet. The green is done, the yellow is partially in, but there's still a lot to come. We're not there yet.
Yep, and some of these close races that could be decisive.
Yeah.
Some of these are shaping out. If I were on AP, I could look at calls again. Maybe I should do that.
On what?
AP is showing calls, so the Associated Press is showing who they're calling for.
Yeah. I'm running over to USPA. I've got a lot of the people I can share. I can share. So let me see what I got here. Okay, so Decision Desk has 50% in with Nancy Mace 11,922 to Arrington 9,920, 5345 for the 01 race, SE01. That's along the coast there in the
Yep.
Charles area. Arrington's the Trump endorsed candidate, as you are probably aware after all the talking we've had tonight. There's a supermoon out there. Go outside, enjoy, take a peek, have fun. Let's
Oh,
see.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Neat.
there's a supermoon out there tonight.
It's been
Uh,
so hot, I've been trying to stay inside.
I know. Okay. Let's talk about this. This is out of Texas. There's a race that they're following. It looks. Oh my goodness! Look how tight that race is. When you say what turning out to vote really matters, because look at how it's a couple hundred votes there with those
Oh,
guys.
wow.
Good luck with that.
Yep.
Yeah, I would feel
And
so.
that's a Democrat Republican one. What race is that?
That's hold on. This is, I guess, isn't this, aren't they having like is this a runoff? I think it is, right?
This has got to be a special. Yep, there it is. It's a special.
Yeah, it's a special election.
So it's a vacant seat situation. The only thing is, I don't know what District Texas 34 is.
Yeah, I don't either. But that's a close race.
Yep, it is.
That is amazing. It always amazes me. We always wind up with some story somewhere in the country where one vote made a difference. It's like, okay, here's the Cunningham McLeod situation in terms of the governor's 22% in Cunningham has 36,719, 19,442. So 57%.
What's his percentage?
They say 57% to 30%. Then there's other candidates with, lower totals, but they're just
Right.
on the two that. I mean, if he's got 57, then
Yeah, he was hitting his threshold to make
early.
it through on the first try.
Mm-hmm. And here's
So that,
Fry.
I guess at this point, we'd probably expect that to hold.
Yeah, and then Fry Rice, and Arthur Russell Fry, the Trump endorsed candidate, is got 9,489, 45%. Tom Rice is the incumbent, 5,658. Rice was the one who spoke against the president, and I think
Yep.
impeachment. Right? Didn't he vote for impeachment? I believe, is that correct?
Yeah, Tom Rice voted not in the first round, in the second one after January 6th.
Right. So Trump has been, pretty vocally supporting Fry in this race, and it
Yeah.
appears to be helping him. That's the South Carolina 7th district congressional seat.
So
So
we're 38% in. The
yeah,
only thing you showed before that makes me wonder is Myrtle Beach proper wasn't in.
yeah,
I would expect Rice to do slightly better there than
mm-hmm.
he does in the
Lauren,
outlying areas.
mm-hmm.
So that's a guess, but
Yeah,
I would anticipate that. And so I don't know that Fry gets to 50% tonight, but I'm not sure that matters either
yeah,
because all of the candidates who are not Tom Rice who are running are in one way or another running against him as the more conservative, more kind of pro-Trump Republican option.
right. Makes sense.
It's
I'm just
just Trump picked Fry because he has the state experience.
There's a main race which I know hear about. This was an earlier number, so I guess that's not as relevant. So yeah, I just keep kind of going back to refresh this. Let's go back to South Carolina Election Commission numbers, I guess we're gonna get another read on the counties. Maybe not. Okay, let's see what we got here. Is this changing at all? I don't know. Let me see. What do we got in terms of totals? And right now, 83,000. Is this? Yeah. Oh, a little more came in. Not a lot though. Um,
What are you showing as the percentage in the seventh?
in the seventh,
Yeah, I'm looking in New York Times again. I'm trying to figure out how far they are behind because they have Fry at a tick up at 47.
25%,
Okay, so now
and one
the
has
Times is showing at 31%, Fry's at 47, Rice is at 25. So he might be trending towards 50. We'll see. Fry.
yeah. This one. So you're saying they have how much in?
SC 7th from New York Times is 31%. The first is 24%. The fourth, they have 11. And Timmons is going to win that one anyway. I'm not sure why they put that one up,
Mm-hmm.
but they did. They have that in their highlight races: first, seventh, and fourth.
I'm gonna scroll down to some of the state house races. Oh my goodness, we're getting an update every time it does that, so you understand. I'm not
I
being.
know. There you go.
It's literally giving us new numbers, which is good because we'll get a more of a sense, of what is happening. Let's take a peek at the top. 18%. Let me go back to 18%. So these are statewide, 18%, right? So tell us statewide we're at 18%, right?
Yeah.
And then we've got like a House district race with 30% of the vote in here. See, so let's get down to some. So here's the Tom Rice, still 25%. Nothing's come in there. And I can't see all the others. I'm going to go back down to the state house races. State house. Here's Elliott race in Greenville. This has 613 votes, 54% to 45, with the incumbent winning. in District 22 in Greenville. The other race that's of interest, District 25 in Greenville. This one is still being doled out between a couple of the seems to be Adrian Atkinson and Wendell Jones so far that are holding a lead that may them up in a runoff. But we'll have to wait and see how it all shakes out when everything comes in. They've got 550
Yep.
in that race right now.
Oh, that's not much of a vote total.
No, I mean
They're slow.
Okay, Rita Allison, who is an incumbent long term,
Yep.
and losing right now to Rob Harris. It's very close, 50.47 to 49.53. This is 2,021 votes in. This is not, as far as I know, complete. So this is something we're just going to have to keep an eye on. But Rita Allison is a long time. I think she's on, heads up education committee, or is very powerful on education in South Carolina.
Yep.
Let's see. I'm looking for the other Department races that I know of. I wish I knew all of these races. Oh, Nate Ballantyne is an incumbent, right? He's got 79.3% of the vote. He's doing just. Let's see. Bum bum bum. Goodness, there's a lot of races. Justin Bamberg, he gets a lot of coverage and press from time to time. Pretty lawyer. 84% of the vote, so he's doing very well in his race. District 90, another part of the state. He's not in our area. Let's see. I'm sure we're down in the part of the state with these. I don't know all these guys. Oh yeah. Oh, let's see what the advisory questions are doing. With 18% of the vote, yes, people would like to be able to register for their 83%, but I think they probably didn't understand they would be giving up their right to.
I don't know. I could see the party itself, the hardcore party, people with strong party identification favoring that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, if you're
I don't.
again, you want to, and maybe
And
that's
those are the people who
always
come out in primaries.
say what.
In primaries, you got that 11, 10, 15% of the electorate are your hardcore-ish people,
Mm-hmm.
generally.
Yeah. Then the other advisory. Oops, I just lost it. Never mind.
It's updating again.
Yes. So when we get this, I'm going to take a peek at what's come in. I'm going to go to the that little percentage thing that tells us and see the counties reporting that map.
Yeah.
We're going to get this again. Let's do this for you guys so you can see it again. Let's get this up there and get the map up. So what has come in? Okay, this one's come in. This is, what county is this? It's not telling me. Oh, there we go. Wait, so it must be showing me. Oh, it's Barnwell. Is that Barnwell? Barnwell's completely reported now. Darlington's in, Chesterfield, Lancaster, Chester. But in the upstate, we're still just Union, Lawrence, and Oconee that are completely reported. Everybody else is still trying to get the job done. We've partial York, partial in Spartanburg, partial Greenville, partial Pickens, partial Anderson, partial Greenwood, and nothing in places like Abbeville, and Cherokee County. So those are the two counties we're waiting for any results. Like we have nothing yet from Cherokee County or Abbeville County, and the rest of the upstate 3 counties are completely in. A couple others are still counting, figuring it out.
Starting to get toward 20% completely reported.
We now have that 20%?
Ish, like 18. So it's showing 43.5% partially reported, 17%, completely reported, and 39% unreported or not reporting at all. So turnout total turnout is up to 8.25%. There's 3.3 million registered voters in South Carolina, 273,000, almost 274,000 counted.
All right, well, let's talk about the prospect that if Joe Cunningham holds what looks to be a pretty wide margin, 58.64% vote on the Democratic side, Henry McMaster walked away, obviously, with the Republican victory in terms of the primary today. So, what can we expect when it comes to these two? If this is indeed the lineup for the fall, um, what do you think that race is going to look like? The Joe Cunningham, Henry McMaster race?
Well, Cunningham can raise some money. So he's not, I mean, and he does have some experience. I would say that he's less connected in all areas of the state than like Vince Shaheen was when he was running.
Mm-hmm.
So I would still, although he's got probably better name recognition, um, I would say that he has quite an uphill battle against McMaster. So you'd be looking at, if this were a country where it was legal to bet on elections, you'd probably get roughly 10-1 odds,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So
Yeah.
90% ish would be your chance of McMaster winning.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? Though
Um,
sometimes though the race that your opponent runs can have an influence on the other candidate in the way he addresses certain issues that the other candidate bring to the forefront. I mean, is there a chance that Cunningham, even if he has low chances of winning, might have an influence on ultimately where we go in the state?
um, hmm. I would say the chances of that are pretty narrow just because, McMaster is not super, super popular amongst Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like if there were a more compelling candidate there, but they'll fall in line.
Mm,
Republicans will fall in line behind him fairly well, and so he doesn't have a big incentive to change what
gotcha.
he's doing in
Yeah.
response to the candidate. In a
Mm,
closer race,
yeah.
you have more incentive to move a little bit to try
Mm-hmm.
to suck some of the support away from your opponent.
Gotcha.
Um, and I just don't see that. Um, plus, like with, let's say, when Nikki Haley was governor,
Right.
so Nikki Haley had clear national aspirations, still does. And so that changes the way that she's going to operate as governor of South Carolina, because eventually she would have to convince Republicans in states that are not like South Carolina to
Yeah.
vote for her in a presidential primary, let's say. Um, and I don't see that with McMaster. Like if he does something nationally at some point, it's going to be probably an appointed position,
Right.
not an elected position.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Governor Haley still has genuine national electoral aspirations.
Got it.
I don't know that they're going to amount to anything, but she has them.
Right. 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 I wanted to check to see which counties are reporting to get a sense for how complete we are getting in the upstate. We still are with the same three counties complete.
Yep.
Um, yeah, not getting a lot more detail.
So the numbers are gradually going up, but the percentages of counties complete aren't.
What'd you say?
So they're like just the number of counties aren't going up, but the percentage complete is going up bit by bit. So it's like dripping in the yellow ones.
Oh my goodness. Well, I think we probably have covered largely what we can cover in terms
I
of
think so.
I think here's the thing. When we get up tomorrow, maybe I may do what I like to call my a podcast tomorrow with you. Like we'll just talk about what we learn. If you don't mind, I'll probably put a call into you and we'll post something tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. Pop me a text. I can be in
Yeah.
your podcast or call me or whatever.
Okay, great.
That's more than fine. I'll be curious to see how Seven the Station is going to cover this tonight because I don't know how many calls there are that we haven't seen, but I
Right.
don't think that there's a lot, and
Mm.
so there's
Well,
probably going to be some uncertainty at 11.
yeah, you can see where things are headed. I think the only
Yeah,
I see right now um is Rita Allison possibly losing, but again, the
yep,
numbers are completely in Spartanburg. The Travis Moore DeVore race is pretty close. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that multiple candidate race in Greenville. Another incumbent in Greenville looks to be in good shape. So,
yeah,
lots to learn, lots to watch. But we will certainly follow all of it up tomorrow. Oh, you're gone.
yep. Oh, I'm here. Keep an eye on that seven. Keep an eye on the seventh to see if Rice gets to the 50% threshold. That, at least amongst the congressional races, seems to be the most interesting thing right now.
And where are we at right now?
So,
We're
it was 47 last time I checked that he had. He's got to get to 50 plus one vote to avoid, or 50% raw to avoid a runoff. So,
well. And what you're saying, you mean Fry? If Fry gets to the 50,
yeah, Fry.
yeah. Sorry, because
So
Fry,
Fry, yeah,
yeah,
he was at 47%.
and he's at 48.6,
So,
and Rice is down to 24.86.
yeah.
So
So by 11, maybe if he keeps trending up, I don't know. I don't know how Myrtle Beach is going to drop. And
yeah,
that's 30,000 ish
yeah.
full time residents, 3,000 of which will have voted
Mm-hmm.
ish. Maybe in that race, a few more because it's
Right.
close.
Right.
So,
Oh,
and it's more, has more news behind it. So we'll see.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But anyway, let me know tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all for watching. We appreciate you tuning in tonight, and I'll see you on the news tomorrow. Bye, Trevor. Thank you, guys. Have a great night. And our thanks to Trevor Rubenzer at USC Upstate.